NuubCast.
Greetings, fellow noobs! Welcome to another NuubCast. I've got a bit of a treat for you. Holy crap. This is a long-ass game. I'm going to tell you up front, I did watch this game already. I don't know how it's going to affect the cast, but this is a kick-ass PvT between Roy here and my boy Djibouti. Welcome to NuubCast. This is Blomus. If you're unfamiliar, we here at NuubCast are all about shining the light of esports where the sun don't shine on the noobs, on the non-pros, the guys who play a crap ton, pour their heart and soul into the game, try their best to get better, but just are not on the pro level. You guys send me replays. I send them through my sophisticated replay filter. That's the word I'm looking for. Pardon me, I haven't slept. And you know, if they're good, we cast them, send them out there for you and your friends to enjoy. And Djibouti, I know Djibouti has trouble in TVP. He doesn't like late game. Boy, are we gonna see some freaking late games. As a matter of fact, let me just put this on 2x right now, because let me tell you, this is a long ass game, and but it's really good. So Djibouti sent me this and he just wanted me to watch it. He didn't know, because it was so long, whether I would cast or not, but so I just watched it. I did send it off to my screener, but I did not wait for him to tell me if it was good, because I watched it and it's a freaking amazing game. And I'm gonna talk a little bit, like mostly we're just gonna watch the game, and instead of just talking to Djibouti about it later on, I'll just use this as an opportunity to talk about this matchup, talk about late game TVP. Yeah, because Djibouti really has struggles late game TVP, and we'll see if he struggles in this game. Roy makes a very solid point. If you struggle in late game, any matchup, why expand? Come up with timings to try and take out your opponent before it gets out of hand, right? I mean, it is a very good question. It's actually something that you ought to think about quite a bit. All right, so we're at 30 food, both guys. We're at 6 minutes into the game. We've got what looks like a fast blink build coming out of Roy off of one base. He just got his expansion up and is starting to populate it. He's got one sentry here to protect his ramp, and just now getting units after his stalker went out and just did a little bit of harassment. That's all he was doing. He was poking with his stalker, trying to find out what Djibouti's doing. And he found out. And Djibouti quickly getting 2 command centers, one for his base, and he's going to move out that third, I'm sure, soon enough. And he's producing double the SCVs. And I actually like what Djibouti does here in the early game. He gets his economy going very quickly. And you can see he's got keeping up with the chrono boosted probes, and is actually ahead because of his mules in the econ game. And it allows him to do things like get combat shield and stim right away, and get his 2 E-base down so we can start his upgrades. Djibouti does a lot of things very right in this game, and it's very fun to see. For those of you who are new to NuubCast, I do have several regular guys who have been around for a long time. Djibouti was actually one of the guys who started NuubCast with me, one of the original casters, and he and I and a bunch of our friends decided that wow, everybody's only casting pro games. Wouldn't it be cool to cast some noob games? And everybody was like, yeah, let's do that. And So we started the channel, and I basically ended up being the only one to cast because guys had school, and I'm an old man, etc., etc. And so yeah. Anyway, now if you've got a replay that you would like to see cast, send it on down to NuubCast@gmail.com. And if it's cool, usually this is a very long game. Usually, very long games do not get through the filtration process unless they are really, really, really good. And okay, we've got you saw the early conversation between Roy and Djibouti talking about what he should do in this matchup, and Roy said get lots and lots of ghosts. So Djibouti gets a 10-minute Ghost Academy. I'm not sure if that's like super early or not, but I think because Roy told him that, he got a very quick Templar. It's rare to see a Templar Archives on 2 bases, especially one in which you get Storm. He upgraded Storm, and he has 2 factories. It's actually really hard to be able to do all of this on 2 bases. So the fact that he has Templar and Storm is rare for this early in the game in a TVP. But I think because of their early conversation, both of these guys assume that the other is going this tech route. Djibouti wanted to get ghosts out fast and is able to do that. Has already got his basically every upgrade that he can get from his barracks, from his tech lab, and he's I assume we'll be seeing the Mobius reactor so he can have EMPs when his ghosts come out. Already making 3 ghosts, and has his 3rd base down, already mining, and is going to scout over here, leave a Marine to make sure he sees when the Protoss gets his 3rd base, except the Protoss gets his 3rd base over here, and so Djibouti does not quite know about it yet. Correct? Correct. But he saw the pylon, so he probably expects it. Probably assumes it's there. And very wise of Roy putting a pylon on the high ground, so he has vision up there in case Djibouti wants to do any drops or any such business. Both players do a really good job with upgrades. Djibouti gets his out pretty early, getting his 2-2 going as Roy's 1-1 is finishing up. Man, I bit my tongue at some point, and it freaking hurts. Hurts to talk. And look at, he's just waiting for drops. As you can see, we've got 5 gateways, 2 more incoming, so we're going to have a total of 7 to start, get things rolling. I am going to be, because it's such a long game, I am going to be speeding things up when I feel it's appropriate. This would not be one of those points. The Ghost gets off an EMP, but does not hit the sentries or the Templars. And Djibouti getting cleaned up pretty early. Lots of feedbacks down on the medevacs, and another huge 2-3 freaking storms galore. And Djibouti just gets his clock cleaned in this early matchup, this early engagement, and the lead that Djibouti had, which was only slight in the supply, is completely gone now. Everything's evened up. I want to check income here. Djibouti is ahead in harvesters, not by a lot, only 6, but as you can see, muling is a big advantage. Plus, he's got his 3rd base in both gases. All of his gases are going, and Roy just now getting his gases on his 3rd base. You can see Djibouti has his up and running. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble, guys. I am in trouble. Stargirl was sick this weekend. Djibouti's 4th base is down. Mrs. Blomus was sick yesterday, and now I'm feeling it in my throat, and my sinuses are starting to post-nasal drip, so it looks like I'm going to be getting sick. So this might be the last game I cast, because I can actually feel my throat starting to get sore. That sucks, man! Freaking sucks! Hate being sick. Look at this double robo going down for Roy. Getting that thermal lance upgrade. Staying on top of upgrades here, we see the personal cloaking shield going down for Djibouti's ghosts. I'm going to speed this up again. Great that this 4th base is down. Just again, Djibouti doing such a good job with his macro, staying on top of things. I really couldn't be more pleased with his play in this game. He does a really good job. And look at this, taking the ninja base, already starting to bank. He's got his supply up, both players near max already. We're 17 minutes into the game. We got a ton of zealots. They've got charge. We've got Archons, Templars with Storm, some sentries, and Djibouti has his sensor tower up, and he's got a marine out here, so he's going to know exactly when people are coming. He's got this tower, so he knows that Roy is trying to take a 4th. And this zealot coming down here to check this 4th. Is he going to get intercepted? He's going to take this tower, so he's going to see it. But Djibouti kills the zealot. But I think Roy was able to see it. Yes, he was. So he knows about the 4th, but of course not the 5th, which is finishing up over here. And Djibouti with his marine here has full view of what's happening over here. 4 more gates coming down for Roy. Roy pushing in here at the sensor tower. Djibouti does have a lot of ghosts. I don't know. He does have cloak finished as well. But his ghosts are out here out of position. Gets a lot of feedback, but plenty of VMPs go off, but not on the Templar, which are able to drop tons of storm. And Djibouti getting pushed back kind of hurt here, but he is ahead in upgrades 2-3 to Roy's 2-2. And Roy, I'm actually surprised there. I think with what Roy has here, these Colossus, they're almost, I don't think they've taken any damage. Get back here. Yeah, they're all like full health. I think if he had pushed in there, he probably could have taken the game already. Because Djibouti, even though he's got, you know, a decent army here. As you can see, Djibouti was up here. He did a little drop up here. There were no workers, though. So as you can see, you know, no workers killed. Just a couple for each player. Not a big deal. Djibouti's going to keep these guys up here just as a little harass. They're not, but I can tell you now, I mean, I'm not going to focus too much on them because they don't really get a whole lot of work done. I'll try and check in on them as I see them. Djibouti populating these bases over here. So now he has his 5th and a 6th base starting. So Djibouti really on top of the macro, getting on his economy. Roy trying to do the same thing, getting a 5th base up over here. Again, out of the way. And both guys remax immediately. And Djibouti now adding several Vikings, which, of course, you need to do once you see those Colossus come out. As a Terran player, you've got to add the Vikings. And not enough medevacs, in my opinion, for the amount of bio he's going. He needs a lot more medevacs. Storm's going down on the units. Medevacs just absolutely getting creamed, not doing anything. Djibouti just standing under storms. No ghosts in that composition for Djibouti. And again, I don't understand why Roy pulled back. Probably because of this just slight harass, but he sent in a ton of zealots here. He's got zealots attacking down here. Djibouti quickly pulls them out and comes back to heal as he brings his army in to deal with these zealots. He brings them around to try and kill some SCVs, but the army intercepts, and there will be no, or at least very few, SCV deaths today. You've got 6 workers killed. Not really going to hurt the race that makes the SCVs. Oh, but now look at this. We've got 6 Colossus, only 2 slightly damaged. They've got all their shields back. Roy transferring stuff now. Djibouti not looking. This was just a blind attack. Didn't see the zealots there. Had to pick up quickly, and now just going to go back and heal again. And now we have these zealots looking for expansions to attack. He knows about this fourth over here. And still no ghosts in this mix. So, Djibouti asked me a long time ago. I mean, it was the last time he brought a game in, I guess. You know, what he had to do. And I told him, man, EMP is the only way that Terran can deal with. If you're going to go bio, you have to have ghosts, you have to have EMP. And, you know, he's got a lot of ghosts out. 6 ghosts out in the field. 3-3 up for Roy. 3-3 already finished for Djibouti. No upgrades on the Vikings. And Djibouti scanning, looking for more expansions. Did he see that? He does see this one. Lots of cannons here, but notice that I mean, all the cannons are out here in the front. And Djibouti, oh, can he see that? No, he doesn't see the place marker. But Roy coming down to drop yet another base. But there's no workers here yet. So Djibouti is basically just going to take down that assimilator. We do have an engagement here. We do get a lot of nice EMPs off, and they get all of the shields off the Colossus and the Stalkers, and so they're able to just come through here and absolutely wreck this army. And Djibouti now going to be able to push up and get aggressive and try and return some of the aggression from that Roy has been able to perform. But Roy here is on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 gateways. And when you're on 4 or more bases, you want to have at least 18 gates, at least 16 to 18 gateways. Djibouti sees the army coming from behind, gets the Nexus, has to get out of dodge. Ideally would like to see him come over here and take this, but he knows that there's cannons here, not going to be able to do it. Ill-advised turnaround on Djibouti's part. Blink's already finished for Roy. He should be just getting the heck out of there. He's going to lose some medevacs, and eventually they break off. But again, both players already pretty much remaxed. Is there any ghosts here for Djibouti? And the answer is no. So he is using ghosts, but he's using them sparingly, and I think it's going to be problematic if he continues to not use enough ghosts. I actually don't remember how much we see ghosts. It's not I'm not sure if I could argue that it's determinant to how the game ends or not. We shall see. Nice concave here for Djibouti, but again, no ghosts. But he does do a bit of kiting here on the Zealots, and once the Zealots get cleaned up, you can actually come in here with this many Marauders and clean house, but the more Zealots come in from the bottom, and you cannot hope to win with Marauders against charge lots, especially if you've got Stalkers to back them up, and the Marauders get out of dodge. And this is part of one of the issues with Djibouti is he just absolutely adores Marauder heavy builds, and actually it's good that he does against, look at him going to assassinate some of these Templar, gets a couple before he loses his Marauders, and he's got one Marauder left in this base here, and he's going to come up here and just pick stuff off, get healed. Roy already maxed. Djibouti trying to get maxed again. Djibouti has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's got tons of idle SCVs. 8 racks, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 racks going right now. Only one Ghost Academy, so we're not going to see any kind of nukes. He does have a ton of idle SCVs, though, and he's got bases that could use them. Using the call down. so he's not really behind in the macro. Look at his bank. Djibouti's bank is just absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason why he shouldn't be adding even more barracks, more starports, maybe a couple factories. I don't know what you want to add into the mix at this point. Even because you see so many Hellions, maybe you want to add, so many Zealots, maybe you want to add some Hellions. But with this many Colossus, a couple of Hellions isn't really going to help that much. You really need to focus on getting ghosts out. And this fourth base goes down for Djibouti. We got guys coming in from behind, trying to, again, to just pick off some of these Templar. And here comes the rest of the army. We do have one ghost out front, and he does get off an EMP, and it does hit all of the Templar. One thing that I have to say about Djibouti, even though his ghosts have been rare, when they've been on the field, they've been super effective, but he just hits really great EMPs, but this time, just way too much AoE, not enough Vikings, not able to take down the Colossus, and so loses that engagement, loses that fifth base, and now Roy going to come in here and try to take down. He's got setting up extra command centers left and right. He's going to have to lift these guys off, get them out of dodge. Djibouti cancels the orbital there. He's going to lose that one, getting these two command centers out. I'm surprised that Roy did not follow and chase one of these down. Probably could have got at least one more. And again, Roy completely remaxed while Djibouti waiting for his army to come together. And this is a function, again, you got to have the production. And with that bank that he has, there's no reason why Djibouti should be dropping a few more barracks, And here's the other thing. And this, I think, is going to be a factor. You see him loading up these guys. That needs to happen more. And what you're going to see is Djibouti's going to focus this half of the map for his drops, which is good because this is where Roy is mining. But he never, after that one single Marauder that dropped, he never touches this base. And that could be problematic later. And not only that, because Roy's money is all on the other side of the map, his army's going to be on that side of the map most of the time too. And I wonder if that's not going to be problematic for Djibouti later on too. And here comes Djibouti. He's got, oh my goodness, how many workers is this? It's about 11 SCVs, every one of them dead. Luckily, you've got mules and tons of orbitals. Lots of Vikings in here, getting stormed, getting hit with, oh my goodness. Colossus are dropping though. At least a few of them. He's going to back up. Pardon me. Got to back up. There's still lots of storms going down. Just walks those Templars in there to get killed. Djibouti, I actually thought he was going to get crushed in this attack, but he is able to push through. Had enough Vikings. I couldn't even tell if he landed EMPs or not. I think he did land EMPs on the Colossus. Was able to take them down pretty quick. And now Roy, look at that, instantly warping in 17 units. And the drop back here held off by Zealots, no problem. I think he did get some. Yeah, not that many though. 14 to 47 units have been killed by Roy. And Djibouti, who had a huge economic lead, is starting to slow down his income, even though he's got a huge bank. And this, Djibouti very wisely bypasses the tanks, is going to go up here and try and take down this Nexus. Does get it. It was very low on health from previous drop, and now he's going to come up here, but there's a lot of Zealots. Not sure he's going to be too successful here. I would have loved to see him land these Vikings. Not so great against Zealots, but he could have dropped them on the high ground just like he's doing now, a little bit earlier, and before the Stalkers got here, they might have been helpful. But right now, they're not going to be helpful. Djibouti going to have to pick everything else up, get out of dodge. But, a lot of the action here taking place on this side of the map. This is where Roy's money is, and Djibouti thinking that's where he needs to attack. That's where he needs to get at Roy. And oh no, he's going to lose that. Yeah, big old feedback. Lost everything in there. And again, Roy maxed out. Djibouti struggling to keep up on supply. 6 more ghosts are on the field. Now, ghosts are very expensive. 200 minerals, 100 gas. And again, more Colossus. And this is both armies are maxed. Djibouti going to rely completely on these ghosts. He's got to get look at this. Here's a High Templar. Just moseying on down. Gonna send out a couple guys. Easily gets picked off. And here comes the rest of Roy's army. Now, all the zealots are out front. Djibouti has got, if he doesn't get good EMPs off on this army, he's absolutely toast. But he saw where the army is. He had the tower. He's going to be able to come up here. Look, now he's coming up. He's got his ghosts cloaked. And he's going to go for the Templar. Bam! Huge 2 EMPs. EMPs going off. On almost all the Templars. Still able to get off a couple of storms, but not nearly enough. And now Djibouti loses the command center, but absolutely decimates Roy's army. He completely wrecks it. But look at this. Roy immediately warping in a bunch more zealots. And waiting now for the cooldown. He says, Terran, good late game, LOL. And he's right. There. I mean, that was great. That was really good. EMPs by Djibouti made all of the Templar obsolete, and just did a tremendous job in that engagement. And if he can keep that up, he's going to win this game. But those ghosts are pretty much gone now. I think they're out of the composition. And as you look in, oh, we still have 4 more, but none of them have EMPs. None of the ghosts have EMPs. So this engagement, there's no Colossus. It's all ground units. So the Vikings are superfluous in this engagement. And Djibouti gets stuck. He gets stuck in a couple of storms, even though there's quite a few medevacs here. Kiting is not going to help him. Storms are just going to absolutely decimate him. And Roy, with his quick ability to remax, and now Djibouti just turning around, and it's like, I guess I want to throw away the rest of my army. I don't know. He needs to run away. He's going to try and flank here, but still, he is way outsupplied, and there's tons of Templar there. You just can't do that against a Protoss army. You cannot attack in, especially if you know Templar are there. You can't do it without ghosts. You need to have ghosts. You need to have EMP. You need to make them a priority in your composition. If you look now, Roy dominating Djibouti in supply. He's up by 100, and he's going to come in here and start harassing with zealots, and going to just basically start to keep Djibouti from being able to mine all that much. Djibouti getting as fast as he can, you know, he's trying to get his supply up, and he's trying to do whatever he can to distract Roy and to basically just buy himself some time. Gets a couple of probes here, nothing major, and but Roy basically biting on that hardcore, and Djibouti doing his best to try and even up supply counts. But again, there are no ghosts in this composition, and that definitely going to prove detrimental if this army comes and attacks, which is exactly what he's going to do. Djibouti's down by about 40 supply, although I think he's lost a lot more workers. So if we check the units, yeah, it's 70 to 30, so it's actually a lot closer. That 40 supply is pretty much even, but all those storms absolutely ripping through. But Djibouti is actually able to get off some EMP there, I think. Holy crap, I need to watch that again. My apologies. Let me go back one more. Because, right here. Oh, I went too far. Sorry. Okay, here's the engagement. Are there EMPs? Storm, storm. Storm, storm. no EMPs. No EMPs at all. I'm actually really surprised. I guess the Vikings focusing down the Colossus eventually allow Djibouti to get the upper hand here. I think, though, yeah, he's going to be able to clean this up. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he did it, because this ghost, all these ghosts just popped. So now he's got a few ghosts. So now he actually has a hope and a prayer. But look at Zealots coming in, harassing, just making his day terrible. Going to kill off some SCVs. It shouldn't really be a problem at this point. At this point, as a Terran, you're 45 minutes into the game. You probably want to get rid of SCVs so you can just work off of mules and you know, keep your supply for your army. Djibouti going to try and put this base down here, drop some more mules, get some mining done. And you remember he had like a 5K bank not too long ago. That is all gone now. And again, Djibouti way behind in supply. He doesn't have a ton of at this point. He's got, because he lost so many bases now, he couldn't support all of those. You know, he couldn't support all those. Please cloak, please cloak, please cloak. Please cloak, please cloak, please cloak. Yeah, he couldn't support all those barracks now. Now that he doesn't have, no longer has all those bases, but he's going to lose this base. So many zealots. So many zealots. Like Hellions. I would love to see some Hellions in the mix. Just because there's so many frickin' zealots in this composition. And Roy says, I think I got you. And let's see. We've got some ghosts coming in. Please cloak. Couple ghosts come out. Get stormed, but get EMPs off on all of the Templar. But you gotta see, with this many zealots, there's the EMPs. EMPs down on all the zealots. Perfect for Djibouti. And now he's going to be able to rip through these zealots, killing them all. The Vikings are going to be able to come in here and kill the Colossus. Down they go. And Djibouti, you would think, is in great position because he just killed Roy's entire army. But again, Roy able to warp in right away, and now there's no more EMPs. And you know, Roy still has a hefty supply lead. Now granted, he probably even has even more, 71 to 18 workers. So Djibouti relying entirely on mules and just a couple of SCVs, but he's only mining off of like a little sliver. So I think it's safe to say that Djibouti is not going to be able to come back into this game. And there's one thing I want to mention, and Djibouti's going to bring it up in a little bit as we watch the screen. He's going to talk about it. He's going to say, I can't seem to keep up with the Protoss production, the instantaneous remax of Protoss in the late game. Zerg is not that much different. So either race, we're talking about either race. The difference is when you harass Zerg, you kill their hatchery, you kill their ability to produce. So it's like a double whammy. Not only are you killing their ability to mine, but you're killing their ability to produce. And that's an advantage that Protoss has, is even if you kill a Nexus, you might kill their ability to mine, but you've not killed their ability to produce. And I would contest that in TVP late game, especially in the one that we just watched, and we have 200 to 117. Djibouti wants to get up here. He wants to try, and this is the problem. He's going to go after bases. And it's good thinking to have. His army gets separated, so he gets whittled down even more. He's not able to mine. His army is very weak, even though he does have some EMPs. It's not going to be enough. Even though he EMP'd all these guys, there's just so many zealots. Archons. He's just not going to be able to do enough. Even if he gets this Nexus, which I don't even think he's going to be able to get. Stim. Roy comes in, kills the army, and that's pretty much it. Never once in the entire game did Djibouti try to harass in the main, the natural, or the third. One drop in here, kill pylons, kill tech. Late game, when you're dealing with Protoss that is maxing really fast, the only way to keep up is to take down production. Now, he's over here protecting his money, protecting his income, as he should be. But what he's not doing at all, he's warping in over here at this pylon, most of his army. But never is he, I mean, he's not even mining over here. He's not even paying attention. If Djibouti had, you know, 10 or 15 minutes ago, came in, dropped, took out the Templar archives, took out some robos, maybe, or just killed some freaking gateways, man, you know, he could have slowed down the Protoss Remax. He could have slowed down that production, and perhaps, you know, between that and making ghosts, yeah, I just can't match the near instant Remax time of Protoss late game. That's my problem. And that is definitely the problem here. But the problem is not because Protoss, there's something wrong with Protoss. If you are aware that that is the issue, if you understand that that's your issue, then you got to figure out, well, how do I slow down that production? That's what the thinking has to be. So instead of trying to really half-heartedly, because he basically, the most he ever dropped over here was like those two. It wasn't really a drop. It was kind of an attack because he had the remainder of his army. He had 2 medevacs and some Vikings, and he came back here. This is basically just cleanup. Roy is cleaning up here. His harass on this side of the map was half-hearted. Most he ever dropped was one medevac with a couple of marauders and a few marines, and that was all there is. So his harass was half-hearted. This is why Terran is definitely at this level, at the highest level. Terran is really, really hard to play because you've got to be good at multitasking. You've got to be able to drop. You've got to be able to harass. And you've got to be able to keep Protoss A from attacking you. You've got to be able to keep him, when you see Protoss move out, you've got to have the ability to do something to draw him away or distract him if you can. Because while you're doing that, you have to be able to position your army in a way where you can get your ghosts out, where you can get your EMPs off. And that's one thing, when Djibouti had EMPs, when he had EMPs in his army, every single time, I'm pretty sure without fail, he won every engagement. Every engagement where he had EMPs, they were good EMPs. He nailed the units he needed to nail, whether that be Templar or Zealots. He did the damage you needed to do with EMP if you're going to go bio. And he nailed it. Like, seriously nailed it. And it was great. But again, because of that Remax ability and the lack of harass from Djibouti, Roy was able to not only be on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases, which is ridiculous. You know, and again, just very lightly harassed 7 bases. You know, we're talking about Protoss. You should be, this base, all cannons. He could have dropped the mineral line at any point and killed everything, killed the Nexus without getting hit by a single cannon because of the placement. And those are the things you have to pick up on. Those are the things you have to be mindful of. You know, he's got some zealots here, and that's good. That's going to keep you from being able to drop. But if you bring 2 medevacs, those zealots are going to die fast. You're going to be able to take down the Nexus or kill workers or do whatever you're going to be able to do. And, you know, that's what Terran needs to do against Protoss. And you see it all the time. The Protosses that are able to beat the Terran, to beat the best Terrans, I'm talking about Hero, I'm talking about Squirtle, I'm talking about Seed. Those are the Protoss players who are able to keep the Terran from performing their multitask. Keep the Terran from being able to do late game drops. Keep the Terran from being able to get into their production and take down pylons, shut down their production. Those are the Protoss that beat the good Tasias and MVPs. And that's basically what you got to do. When you have a big giant bank like that and you're not able to keep up with production, you got to make more barracks. That's one thing. You know, he did have at one point, he had 7 bases himself, or 6 at least. So he should have been able to keep up if he had enough, because he had a huge bank, 5,000 K in the bank, gas and minerals. So, and I understand the desire to stick with your bio, but if you're going to do that, you have to dedicate some barracks to producing only ghosts. You have to, because every bio ball that you create against Protoss must have EMPs in it. You've got to have it. And if you make any attack into a Protoss ball that's got 3 Colossus, or even no Colossus and just Templar and a ton of Zealots, you're dead. You're dead. Bio is going to fall. Doesn't matter how well you're upgraded. Doesn't matter anything. Without EMP, you are absolutely toast. Protoss is made that way. It's not a design flaw. It's not an imbalance. You just got to play. You know, you can't decide to play it your own way when you're up against something that beats the way you want to play. So you got to have the Ghost. You got to have the MP. And again, when Djibouti had those things, he absolutely killed it. All right, I've talked enough. I got diarrhea in the mouth right now. My throat is hurting, so I'm going to quit talking right now and maybe catch a nap or whatever. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Send your replays. Hopefully not 55-minute games, because 9 times out of 10, 55-minute game is not going to be cast. This is probably about 40 minutes, which is way longer than any of you probably want to watch. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep climbing that ladder. Send me replays. Peace.